And now, part 10 of Facebook is Our Future.
I have to admit that I did not give email any consideration at all when I began writing about the prospect of Facebook taking over various communication channels. That all changed, however, after reading this article from the New York Times from June 2017 entitled "What We Lose When the World Moves On from Email" by Farhad Mahjoub. According to this author, it's already a foregone conclusion that the world will indeed move on from this outdated form of communication. It's just a question of when. The article begins by using the well-documented Hillary Clinton email scandal as one of two case studies to why everyone needs to move away from email. As you scroll through the story, you quickly learn that this author has an axe to grind against the concept of email. He really hammers home the point that we really need to move on to more secure, more modern forms of communication. What modern forms, you ask? Well, we all need to move to the cloud, of course. Yes, that's right. We all need to give up any secure email server that we ourselves may own and start using cloud-based tools like Slack and Signal as well as others. Now, this wasn't the only article. Apparently he wrote another one almost a year earlier. Whoever wins the White House, this year's big loser is email. Again, he's beating that drum for the end of email. Nowhere in these two articles, however, is the topic of personal responsibility ever brought up. Believe it or not, and this is going to come as a shock, there are people in this world who can secure their own private email accounts perfectly fine. They are not susceptible to phishing scams, and they learned not to click on strange links in emails probably back in the 90s sometime. Yet because politicians and celebrities alike are routinely hacked, that is somehow justification enough in this author's mind to continue to beat the drum in support of encouraging people to embrace other forms of communication. Now, at this point, this is where Facebook potentially enters the picture here. If this particular author continues to beat his drum, that drum beat will encourage others to beat their drums, and what you end up with is a whole lot of noise. But from that noise emerges a groundswell of support for a new online communications platform. So essentially what you have then is a large group of people rolling out a red carpet for a company like a Facebook who will walk right up and announce that they have the answers to all of our communications problems. And then it's a match made in heaven, because on one side you have a group complaining about email security, and another group complaining about Twitter, hate speech, and how it's, and maybe you have another group complaining about something else. And before you know it, you have built a stage for virtual reality. Okay, I have saved the best for last.
Wow!
In the future, Facebook will be the only online personals websites available. And there are a couple of reasons for this. Number one, Facebook's virtual environment social media platform will render traditional dating websites and dating apps obsolete. Why will Facebook's virtual environment social media platform render dating apps and sites obsolete? Because Facebook will provide a dating environment in the virtual world that is both safe and seamless. What does that mean? Well, let's start with the safe first. Online predators have always been a problem. Facebook helps solve this problem by ensuring that there are no fake accounts, as I mentioned. And like I said, all VR consoles, goggles, cameras, and other hardware must be registered to only one user. That is one form of security, and of course was also mentioned earlier, the medium itself lends itself to having its own security built in, because everyone will see everyone else when they go online. In addition to that, your name and other details remain permanently affixed to your image and follows you wherever you go. Going beyond that, however, is another security feature introduced and patented by Facebook themselves entitled Keyhole. Keyhole is a security feature that will allow females who have signed up to Facebook's online personals, it will allow them to spy on people they are interested in, or in the most likely scenario, it allows women the ability to spy on men who have approached and expressed interest in them. I use the term spy here kind of loosely. What this is the ability to capture a glimpse of both the behavior and lifestyle of a potential love interest in his natural habitat without his immediate knowledge. So many of us have two sides to our personalities. We have the side we present to the world, and we have the side we only show to our friends and family. Then we have sides that we only show when no one else is around. Unfortunately, communication problems within the relationship can arise as a result of this. Facebook will develop Project Keyhole as a way to sort of break down these types of barriers by giving the female a peace of mind in knowing she's made the right decision in selecting a potential mate. Now, there's a couple things I should mention about Keyhole. First of all, the feature is only available to female account holders, so men cannot use this to look in on women. Second of all, this feature is only available to female account holders up to a maximum of 15 minutes per day. So women can't sit there and monitor someone's account 24/7. It doesn't work like that. Female account holders will be allotted 15 minutes per day. After that 15 minutes has expired, they must wait another 24 hours before they can use the feature again. Part of the terms of service agreement that men agree to when they sign up for Facebook's personals is to give consent for females also using the personal service to be able to spy on them at any time without their knowledge. So when a woman decides to spy on a man, an icon will appear on the dashboard of his virtual environment's visual interface. He will know he's being spied on, he just won't know precisely when or by whom he is being spied on. Having now talked about the safe aspects of Facebook's virtual environment social media platform, online personals, I want to now focus your attention on the seamless aspects. What do I mean by seamless? Well, currently, when you join a dating site, first you got to whip out your credit card, and then you have to fill out annoying profiles, both which is kind of annoying. With the arrival of dating apps, the process seems more streamlined. But I'm not going to get into apps discussion too much for the simple reason that I don't use them, and therefore I'm not qualified to talk at length about them. But from what I've read, it seems that the problem with dating apps is that they are great if you just want to hook up with somebody, but if you're trying to find a serious and meaningful relationship, it can be a frustrating process. But at the same time, there seems to be yet another problem with dating apps. Throughout all the articles I read on the subject, a reoccurring theme began to emerge in each one. A theme centered around tiredness. burnout, exhaustion, arduous task, time consuming. This Daily Mail article dares to ask the question, are you Tinder-tired? According to this article, 80% of app users fail to find a long-term relationship. Meanwhile, Independent from the UK has an article entitled, Too Much Tinder, Why Some Single People Are Experiencing a Dating Burnout. And across the Atlantic, Atlantic put out an article entitled, The Rise of Dating App Fatigue. Now, from the perspective of an outsider like myself, a person who has never used Tinder, looking in through a window from the outside at all of this, I'm thinking to myself, here was a technology meant to make the dating experience more easy, more seamless than ever before, and yet people are now complaining that the process is too exhausting? That just seems strange to me. Even more strange, it seems worrisome to me. Worrisome because if I'm not overreacting and dating apps have become more work for less reward and disillusionment sets in for all involved, then once again we have a situation that is ready-made for Facebook to come in and save the proverbial day. Funny how that always works out like that, huh? Funny. Whenever there's a problem, Facebook will always seem to show up with the appropriate answer. Let's talk about what the future of online dating will be like in Facebook's world. But before I do that, let's talk about the future of online dating the future of online dating in virtual reality will not be like in Facebook's future. Very quickly, earlier I referenced an article about a stupid reality show series where two people meet for a blind date wearing VR gear and everyone gets a good laugh. Ha ha. I'm asking you to get that out of your head. Not only is it a very stupid concept for a reality show, but it is not even close to what VR dating will be. So again, please forget I even talked about that. The future of online dating and Facebook's virtual reality social media platform is completely seamless. How seamless, you ask? So seamless that you don't even have to go through the hassle of having to choose the person you are interested in. Facebook already knows. That's how powerful your personality model is, and that's how much data the personality model contains. And you combine all that data with the insanely fast processing power inside of Facebook's super machine, which are constantly cross-referencing all personality model against each other faster than the speed of light, and you can pretty much sit back and let your virtual clone take over. Before I go any further, I think it's important now to explain how we arrived at this point where man decided that machines should make the decision of who we are supposed to fall in love with and how we are all content with those decisions. It didn't just happen by accident. The effects of dating apps cannot be blamed entirely. Instead, years of social engineering and mass conditioning appear to be the more likely culprits in all of this.